So we know that Russia's invasion of Ukraine has been really bad for Dogecoin and cryptos, and it appears that things can get much worse from here. But I have a major update that no one is talking about right now, so let's talk about it and see what exactly is happening. So on the heels of the Russian-Ukrainian conflict, the overall crypto market has tanked during the last 24 hours. Many of the crypto industry's largest, most established cryptos are also deep in the red. From Bitcoin and Ethereum to Dogecoin and Shiba Inu, we have seen a massive bloodbath in the crypto market. And we can see here that heavy liquidations were taking place in the crypto market during this time, as around $548 million have been liquidated in the last 24 hours alone. About $49 million worth of Bitcoin and $44 million worth of Ethereum have also been liquidated. So as a result, we are now seeing that the overall crypto market cap has plunged by a whopping $200 billion in the last 24 hours. And we know that the crypto market has declined in parallel with the wider financial market in the wake of Russia's military operation against Ukraine. Russian equities have dropped by more than $250 billion as the country's economy reels from the impact of international sanctions. Besides, global markets have also felt the impact. The US S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 are down 1.8% and 2.6% respectively. So we are now seeing that the global geopolitical situation is getting more and more intense from here, as Russian troops have now moved into eastern Ukraine territories after Vladimir Putin recognized the independence of two Ukrainian regions. Vladimir Putin has also announced a military operation in Ukraine's eastern Donbas territory. His troops crossed Ukrainian borders in multiple directions and launched missiles that hit Ukraine's infrastructure minutes later, and various cities, including the capital Kyiv, suffered explosions. Meanwhile, Ukraine severed diplomatic relations with Russia and reported shooting 7 Russian fighter jets down. So this is just a clear indication that this situation is intensifying from here, and this can be really bad for both crypto and traditional markets. Meanwhile, market analyst Lark Davis is saying that the S&P 500 is looking grim right now, and unless it bounces soon, it will take out the yearly low. He has also highlighted that, as we already know, if stocks tank, then cryptos will likely follow right along. So this means that crypto holders need to be ready for anything, since there is a lot of uncertainty out there. However, as I said at the start of this video, there are some updates that no one is talking about, and I think this is exactly what every crypto holder needs to see right now. So the thing is that major countries are now trying to cope with this situation by putting sanctions on Russia, and we can see here that UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has just announced that major Russian banks will be excluded from the UK financial system. He also said that these sanctions on Russia are going to be the largest and most severe package of economic sanctions that Russia has ever seen. He condemned this recent move from Russia and said that the Russian President Vladimir Putin was a blood-stained aggressor who would stand condemned in the eyes of the world and of history for invading Ukraine. Boris Johnson also revealed that the G7 group of world leaders had agreed to work in unity to maximize the economic price that Putin will pay for his aggression. Meanwhile, U.S. President Joe Biden also commented on this issue, and he recently tweeted that he condemns this unprovoked and unjustified attack by Russian military forces. The U.S. is now going to take it to rally international condemnation, including at the UN Security Council session. He also announced that he will be meeting with the leaders of the G7, and the United States and their allies and partners will be imposing severe sanctions on Russia. So this clearly means that the world leaders are not going to back out, and they are not going to let Russia initiate a major war. So this means that we may not see any further escalation in this situation, and I think that all these world leaders are going to ease the ongoing tensions between Russia and Ukraine. As a result, I think once this happens, things will start to get better for cryptos, and we will come out of this massive market-wide sell-off. Another good thing is that market participants are also criticizing Russia, and this is also very important as it can bring some fruitful results in the coming days. So we are now seeing that Vitalik Buterin is expressing his support for Ukraine, and he is saying that he is very disappointed by Putin's decision to abandon the possibility of a peaceful solution to the dispute and choose a military way to go. So as I said, positive comments from influential people like Buterin are also going to help ease the tensions, as I believe that Russia may soon realize its mistakes, and we may see that peace will prevail again and things may get normal for financial markets pretty soon. Besides, we should also realize here that it is quite possible that cryptos will see more volatility in the coming days, so we need to be prepared for anything to happen from here. Another thing to note here is that while the crypto market is already under pressure due to Russia-Ukraine tensions, this week's U.S. inflation data is poised to add another layer of worry. The Personal Consumption Expenditures Index for January is due in the coming days, and what makes the data so significant and possibly market-moving is that it is the Federal Reserve's favored inflation indicator. Moreover, rising inflation offers more room for the Fed to raise interest rates, which reduces market liquidity and dampens investment in risky assets such as equities and, more lately, cryptos. So this can be just another factor that may fuel the sell-off in the crypto market in the coming days, so let's keep an eye on this and see what happens. And now, let's come to Dogecoin's current price movements. So Dogecoin's price has continued its slow bleed and trend of creating new lower lows during the last 24 hours, and we can see here that it is one of those cryptos that have been greatly affected during this recent crypto crash. From a technical perspective, it is currently trading below its crucial moving averages, and the daily RSI value is also slowly drifting into a bearish zone. So this means that Doge is going to continue trending on the low side in the coming days. But as I said before, it all depends on how this Russian and Ukrainian situation is going to play out in the coming days. In any case, I'd like to remind you that this isn't financial advice and I'm not a financial advisor. So I'd suggest that you do proper research before investing anything into crypto. And with that being said, let's come to Bitcoin for a minute. So we know that Bitcoin went down during the last 24 hours owing to all the uncertainty in the market, and seeing this fall of Bitcoin, analyst Peter Brandt is saying that it would lose more of its value from here. So what exactly he is saying is that Bitcoin and other cryptos saw their values plummet due to irrational trading despite the deluge of good news that poured into the sector this week. And based on his forecast, the price of Bitcoin may plummet towards the 28K price level. And while things are currently looking bleak for Bitcoin, crypto analyst Smart Money is saying that the price of Bitcoin is going to improve from here. He has highlighted that there are about 34K call option contracts on Bitcoin compared to 21K put option contracts. So the current put-to-call ratio is 0.61, and Smart Money believes that this is a positive sign for Bitcoin's future price action, which he apparently sees as bullish from here. And another prediction came from the Bloomberg senior commodity strategist Mike McGlone. He said that Bitcoin is on the cusp of hitting strong support. This is because it is currently hovering below the 50-week moving average and appears to be trading at an extreme discount relative to its 2018 and 2020 lows. He also said that his graph depicts the most extreme discount for the crypto vs its annual average since the 2020 and 2018 lows. This just implies that after hitting this extreme support level, he thinks Bitcoin is bound to go up. And just last week he said that Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the proliferation of crypto dollars may find a firm foundation in 2022 on elevated inflation and asset prices, along with tensions surrounding Russia and Ukraine. Bitcoin is showing divergent strength vs equities. So there you have it. Bloomberg is overall pretty optimistic about where we're heading in 2022. And another good news for the crypto market was that the Brazilian Senate has approved a major bill related to cryptos. Basically, the Senate has embraced cryptos with the unanimous approval of a bill that will enable mass adoption of cryptos in Brazil. If approved, we can see cryptos be accepted in local shops, supermarkets, and even car dealerships in Brazil. But still, this is just the first step. It hasn't been fully accepted yet. The bill must now be voted on by the whole Senate, followed by the lower house, and yet I'm still quite optimistic because of the reception it's gotten till now. And now coming back to Dogecoin, I know that its price is currently not looking good, but there are still two things that make me optimistic about where we're going from here. The first is the funding news from the UK, which will add pressure on Russia and might even help end this war soon. And the other is the Bloomberg prediction, which says that in the long term, we're going from here. And if Bitcoin goes up in 2022, we can expect Doge to follow suit as well. In any case, what are your thoughts on this? When do you think Dogecoin is going to move up from here? Let me know in the comments section below.